Good evening. Welcome to the April 21st edition of the Downers Grove Village Council meeting. As was the case 2 weeks ago, we continue to do our part to facilitate the governor's stay-at-home order and to be mindful of social distancing. Most of the council team are operating remote this evening. Participating by conference call is Greg Jose, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners Marge, Earl, Nicole, Walus, Leslie Sadowski-Fugitt, Rich Kulovany, and Cavanaugh Gray, as well as Megan Miles, our village clerk. Tonight we're in the committee room here at Village Hall in an effort to improve the audio quality for those listening and participating remote. With me this evening is David Fieldman, our village manager, Michael Baker, our deputy village manager, and Enza Petrarca, our village attorney. In an effort to provide for public input to this meeting, we solicited public input prior to the meeting via email and through our village e-remarks system. We'll do our best to answer those questions and comments and get them into the record and to answer questions as we go. We'll make every effort to enter questions or comments received during the meeting as well into the record at the end of the meeting, where we have placed our typical public comments section. As is sometimes the case during our regular meetings, we may have to get back to folks with additional information at a later date. As always, we'll call our meeting to order this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Megan, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Here.
Commissioner Earl?
Here.
Commissioner Walus? Here. Commissioner Sadowski-Fugitt? Here. Commissioner Kulovany?
Here.
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Mayor Barnett?
Here. Everybody is in attendance electronically. Is there a motion to conduct the April 21st, 2020 Village Council meeting electronically?
Mayor Barnett, I move that the council conduct the April 21st, 2020 Village Council meeting electronically.
Second.
The motion to conduct this meeting electronically is made by Commissioner Jose and seconded by Commissioner Earl. Megan, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Kulovany?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugitt? Aye. Commissioner Walus? Aye. Mayor Barnett?
Aye. That motion is unanimous. Thank you all. Before we get much farther, we have a couple proclamations this evening. We are trying to keep life going as much as normal as possible. So there are two tonight. The first one is Arbor Day. Whereas the last Friday in April has been designated as Arbor Day to encourage the planting of trees and their protection from insects and diseases that destroy their beauty and usefulness, and whereas trees add much to our community by providing beauty, helping reduce heating and cooling bills, increasing property values, enhancing economic vitality of business areas, and improving the quality of life for years to come, whereas the Village of Downers Grove has received national recognition for the 35th year for its tree care program by being named Tree City USA, now I therefore, Robert T. Barnett, Mayor of the Village of Downers Grove, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 24th, 2020, as Arbor Day in the Village of Downers Grove and urge all residents to care for their trees. Dated this 21st day of April, 2020, Downers Grove, Illinois. It's also Public Safety Communications Week. So whereas the DuPage Public Safety Communications Center, known as DUCOM, plays a vital role in the protection of human life and property in our community, and whereas DUCOM serves the public safety communications needs of the Village of Downers Grove and surrounding communities, and whereas while enduring long shifts and handling frequent life and death emergencies, DUCOM dispatchers set high standards in performing their duties in a dedicated, diligent, and compassionate manner, and whereas DUCOM dispatchers provide a critical communication link between the residents and police, fire, and emergency medical service providers, and whereas DUCOM dispatchers efficiently coordinate emergency services to ensure the health and safety of our residents, visitors, and travelers in our cities, towns, villages, and on our highways 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas DUCOM dispatchers are rarely visible to the public while performing an exceptional service that deserves praise and recognition, now therefore I, Robert T. Barnett, Mayor of the Village of Downers Grove, do hereby proclaim the week of April 12th through the 18th, 2020, as National Public Safety Communications Week in the Village of Downers Grove, and commend the devotion, contribution, and services of DUCOM dispatchers, dated this 21st day of April, 2020, at the Village of Downers Grove. Next portion of our meeting is minutes of previous council meetings. Is there a motion to approve previous council minutes?
Mayor Barnett, I move that the council adopt the April 7th, 2020 minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion to approve previous council meetings is made by Commissioner Jose and seconded by Commissioner Earl. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. Megan, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Kulovany?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugitt? Aye. Commissioner Walus? Aye. Mayor Barnett?
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. Is there a motion for the consent agenda this evening?
Mayor Barnett, I move that the council adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda is made by Commissioner Jose and seconded by Commissioner Earl. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none. Megan, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Kulovany?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugitt? Aye. Commissioner Walus? Aye. Mayor Barnett?
Aye. That too passes unanimously. Item 6 on our agenda tonight would be our active agenda. We have not placed anything on the active agenda tonight, which takes us to our first reading. Dave?
Thank you, Mayor Barnett. We only have one item on tonight's first reading agenda. It is consideration of an ordinance amending the FY19 budget. That is last year's budget we're talking about now. This amendment is part of the financial closeout of 2019. You may recall that financial performance in 2019 was very strong. We added $1.6 million in fund balance to our main operating fund, our general fund. 20 of our 23 funds in the budget had expenses under the authorized amounts, and all of our funds continue to have positive balances. We did have 3 funds which had expenses above the budgeted authority. And state law says that municipalities cannot spend more than the amount authorized in any fund unless the budget amendment is approved. So I'll just go through those 3 funds that require an amendment. First is the Asset Forfeiture Fund. An amendment is required here because federal regulations actually prohibit spending these funds on budgeted items. And so by the very nature of this fund, the expenses in this fund are unbudgeted and therefore require a state amendment. In the Fleet Services Fund, we have an amendment of about $100,000. We incurred some overtime expenses and additional expenses for contracted help. We had some unplanned employee turnover in this division of Public Works, and that's the reason for those expenses. And then the last one is in our Police Pension Fund, an amendment of $60,000. We had some unexpected costs of refunding individuals' pension contributions. These were made to employees who left the department prior to retiring, and since that was unexpected, we did not budget for that. But I want to reiterate, all 3 of these funds have positive balances and are in strong fiscal condition. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Dave. We're going to go through to try and keep the conversation from being confusing, and I'll call on folks individually. Greg, did you have any questions?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Marge, did you have any questions?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Cavanaugh, did you have any questions?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Rich, did you have any questions?
Just a comment. Congratulations on a fine financial performance.
Thank you.
Leslie, did you have any questions?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Nicole, did you have any questions?
No, thank you, Mayor.
That ends our first reading. Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick notes. The village is providing nearly all of our services, and certainly all essential services are being provided. But we're providing these services using creative approaches, new technologies, and we're trying to make sure we provide these services in a manner that is safe and minimizes in-person interaction, both staff to staff and from staff to public. But please, we're encouraging residents, if you are in need of village services, visit our website to get access to many of those services right online there, or just give us a call at our normal phone numbers that you'll find on our website. We'll be happy to answer those calls and provide services. I just wanted to thank our village staff members for their dedicated work. It's a very challenging time, like it is for everybody else, and our staff team has really stepped up, continued to provide services. And I also want to thank our residents and our other stakeholders for their patience and understanding as we provide those services in new ways. And that is it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. It really is a team effort. Dave's underselling that, but your village has gone to great lengths to find ways to continue to provide nearly all the services, as Dave indicated, that we have in an environment that just nobody has experienced. What does it mean to do an inspection in a setting where you're trying to keep social distancing in place? How do you manage reports and communications between departments with social distancing in place? What does it look like to process a ticket with a police department with social distancing? Everybody has really stepped up, and we're doing nearly everything, and we're doing it pretty well still. But also, to Dave's point, residents, we have done as good a job as I might have hoped. There's certainly opportunities to do more everywhere, but residents have been both patient and helpful to each other, helpful to their community, helpful to a broader community, and that's been awesome too. This is a time that nobody has enjoyed. None of us can wait till it's over with, but I've been awfully proud of both our village team and our residents and their reactions to what is certainly distressing to many. So thank you all. Enza?
Yes, Mayor, only one item tonight, and that is the ordinance providing for an amendment to ordinance number 5720 and the village budget for fiscal year 2019. It will be on the May 5th active agenda. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. We have put public comments at the end of this meeting just to try and allow for as much time as possible for those watching at home, should there be any, for them to get comments in. So to that end, this is the part of the meeting where we have mayor and council member reports. We'll go through and offer council members the opportunity to report on anything that's of interest to them or that they might want to mention to the public. And again, I'm going to call on folks just so that we're not talking on top of each other. So with that, Greg, did you have anything to report?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank everybody for continuing to follow the stay-at-home order as closely as they can, for maintaining social distance, and encourage folks to continue enjoying the outdoors, especially now that the weather is actually looking to be steadily better, but do it at a distance. We can see that the curve is beginning to bend according to what the state is telling us, but there's more work to do. It's difficult for everyone, but if we stick to it, we can beat this thing. And I just want to thank everybody for their efforts so far, whether it's residents, staff, and the council. Thank you all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Greg. Marge, did you have anything to report?
Yes, I do, Mayor. With the Arbor Day proclamation at hand today, I just wanted to let everybody know that we'll be delaying tree planting until the earliest in the fall. So normally we're out there planting our trees in the spring if we can do it. We just don't have the bandwidth to be doing that right now, unfortunately. And so if folks are looking for us or they're expecting a tree, look again in the fall. Hopefully we'll be up and running. And second of all, as you can imagine, lots of people are having drive-by birthday parties for their kids. And we've gotten lots of requests to send a police or fire vehicle or public works vehicle to do a drive-by birthday party. Unfortunately, there's so many of those, and there's so many people asking that we just, even if we want, we couldn't pull people away from what they're already stretched thin on doing. All of our first responders are doing a heck of a job, and I'm sure they would love nothing more than to go to a birthday party and drive by instead. But unfortunately, that's just not a service we can provide. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we're all in this together, and your first responders are doing just what they're supposed to be doing, which is responding to your emergencies. So thank you, everybody, for your understanding. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Marge. Those are important reminders. I appreciate that. Kavanaugh, do you have anything to add?
Yes, Mayor. I would like to share something really quickly. First thing is just that I saw a message this past week from someone who looks no different than any of our households, who felt like life at this point in time was kind of closing in on them, and that would be something that you could feel under normal circumstances, let alone what we're all experiencing now. And I just wanted to commend kind of the men and women who saw this post, who responded in this caring, loving, encouraging way, and just really did their best to encourage this particular individual. I would like to say, if there's anyone, again, I'm kind of repeating some of the same themes as we all go through this. If you are feeling like life has gotten hard, there are resources, there are individuals. Please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to talk to someone and let them know. And then for those of us who are managing this process well at this time, continue to be on the lookout. Continue to be on the lookout for individuals who are in need or who might be struggling at this time. And secondly, I just wanted to leave everyone with, everyone who's listening to this, with two quick numbers. The first number is 125, and the second number is 119. As of Thursday of last week, I think Illinois saw its highest death toll total, if I'm not mistaken, with the 125 deaths that were reported. As of today, the state of Illinois saw 119 deaths reported today. And although we are moving in the right direction, we still have a long way to go. As painful and as uncomfortable as this may be on a day-to-day basis, and we are all feeling it, I would continue, all of us, to continue to do our part. We are doing well, but like Commissioner Jose said, there is still room, still a ways to go. And I would just encourage us that we stay at home and save lives. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kavanaugh. Appreciate that. Rich, did you have anything for us tonight?
Yes, I do, Mayor. Thank you very much. Like my colleagues have mentioned, thanks so much to the residents of Downers Grove. I'm really proud of you. My feeling here is that you're treating this more like an adventure and something that is to be dealt with and conquered, as opposed to just a crisis. Continue staying home, stay safe, keep your distance. Really important to support our local businesses because they support the village. So if you can shop locally, that would help us all really great. There have been a few posts on social media asking if Downers Grove was going to lift the stay-at-home order soon. And I don't know if, Mayor, if you wanted to address this point in your comments regarding your authority versus the governor's on.
Go ahead, Rich.
Well, okay, we are a home rule municipality. We can do things that are more stringent than state law, but we can't do anything that are more lax or lenient than state law. And in this case, the executive order from the state of Illinois through the governor it supersedes. So we will take our direction. We're all sworn to uphold the laws of Illinois. So even though we understand your desire to have Downers Grove lifted beforehand, we really have to rely on the state for that. Also, I've been following the cases on the DuPage County health site, Department of Public Health, and that curve is starting to reduce. The number of new cases per day is finally starting to reduce. And then also on the state of Illinois, the Illinois Department of Public Health also has a chart. And finally, since Sunday, those daily numbers have been coming down as well. We're not out of the woods, but that is a really, really positive sign. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Leslie? Leslie, can you hear us? All right, we'll pause, Leslie, there. We'll come back. Maybe it's a mute button thing. Nicole, do you have something for this evening?
Real quick, I mean, I always risk being at the end and doing a lot of repeating. So just want to echo everything that everyone has already said. Please continue to follow the stay-at-home order. Please continue to shop in Downers Grove and support all of our local businesses, restaurants, all of our small businesses as well. I mean, we really don't need to leave our community, is what I'm starting to realize throughout this whole process. We have so many incredible places to shop right here in town. It makes it really easy. And while it may seem, if you're on social media, that a lot of our businesses and restaurants are doing okay and, wow, it seems like they have a lot of business, I think that sometimes can be deceiving. And please know that a lot of these places are struggling right now. This is a difficult time for a lot of people. So please continue to do what you can for our community. And thank you so much to all of the residents who continue every day to just step up and go above and beyond to help. It's really incredible to see. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Leslie, can you hear us? All right, I think
I
we've...
think she may have a headset malfunction. We'll continue to work with Commissioner Sadowski-Fugitt.
All right. I had a couple of words I wanted to relay this evening. Leslie, we'll come back to you if you can hear me as soon as I'm done here. My colleagues have said a lot of good things about our community and about helping each other and staying up, and I wanted to reiterate some of that. Most of all, I want to encourage us all to do our best to stay optimistic. This too will pass. While it seems we're surrounded by uncertainty, at some point we'll be thinking of COVID-19 differently. If you're looking for up-to-date information specific to COVID-19, I wanted to encourage you to continue to monitor the DuPage County Health Department's website and the State of Illinois Department of Public Health's website. Both have social media presences as well. If you prefer that, you can find their Facebook pages and follow them, their Twitter accounts, you can follow them. But checking into their websites regularly makes sense as well. And not only are they providing statistical information, which I know a lot of people are interested in, but they both are providing guidance as far as best health practices. And so I'd encourage residents who have questions about either the status of the pandemic or what to do from a health standpoint to check in with both DuPage County and the state of Illinois. To get through this, though, we're going to need to help each other. We're going to have to keep helping each other. And importantly, we're going to have to know when to ask for help. If you're feeling like you want to help but you aren't sure what to do, I've gotten a lot of folks asking me that question. Consider supporting those groups that are already meeting needs in our community. Groups like food pantries such as FISH or the West Suburban Food Bank or any of our local faith-based efforts. Organizations such as PADS or Catholic Charities who continue to serve our homeless community. People's Resource Center, Hope's Front Door, Family Shelter Services. There are so many groups doing good work in and around our community. And the needs that they regularly fill day in and day out for years, long before this pandemic, those needs are just growing as a result of the COVID crisis. So they could really use your help. Just as importantly, though, if you need help, Cavanaugh touched on this, and it's a really important thing. Don't be bashful. Don't hesitate to ask. These groups are there to help you. Fear, frustration, anxiety, depression, lost income, food, health concerns, these are real. And don't think you're alone if you're experiencing them. It's important to not find yourself isolated, and so you need to try and reach out for help whenever you can. If you find yourself in an unfamiliar spot, you're uncertain about what tomorrow will bring, please reach out and ask for help. From housing to food to mental health and family support, there's somebody ready to help you. Not only in our community, but in our county. We are really blessed to have a lot of resources at hand. You can connect with these and a lot of other resources via the village's website under the Community Resources page. There's some links there. Or go direct to the DuPage County Resource Information System. It's a website. It's DuPage CRIS, DuPageCRIS, DuPageCRIS.org, or you can just search the web for DuPage County CRIS. Please, 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 don't hesitate to ask for help. Don't hesitate to help, because we will get through this thing together. Leslie, can you hear me?
Here you go, Leslie. She's on speaker now on my cell.
Okay. Leslie, do you have any comments this evening you wanted to share?
I do. Can you hear me okay on this line?
Yes.
Think so.
Great. Okay. I just want to again thank the community for continued support of our frontline workers, local businesses, and each other. Based on the current data we have available to us, hopefully we're on the right path to being successful in flattening the curve. that ensures that our healthcare system is not overwhelmed. Based on current public health recommendations that are out there, hopefully once we have enough testing and treatment options in place, my hope is that the state will be able to slowly lift our stay-at-home orders. I also hope that everyone's finding ways to connect virtually, as human connection is crucial in the midst of a crisis. So continue to be kind to one another, support our local businesses when you can, and we will get through this together. Life will probably look different, but our community will undoubtedly remain connected and strong. And as I said last week, please do not hesitate to reach out if you need assistance. And finally, I want to wish everyone a happy Earth Day tomorrow. And I hope that you can join me from a distance, of course, in finding some small joy in the plants and wildlife that are continuing to thrive through this pandemic. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Leslie. Glad we connected there. Mike, were there any particular comments that came in via the internet?
Yes, Mayor. At this time, there have been 4 council emails that have been received. The full text of these emails will be entered into the record, and I'll briefly summarize each of the comments. Number 1, a resident proposed that signage be installed at certain tennis courts, limiting the number of players allowed, as opposed to the current practice of locking them. Manager Fieldman responded to let the resident know that this is a Park District responsibility, and he forwarded her email to the district. Number 2, a resident stated that the village should mandate all people wear face coverings. Number 3, a resident stated that he would like to see the village establish rules requiring people who go out in public, particularly grocery store shoppers, to wear masks. And number 4, a business owner asked that the village consider allowing video gaming, which is allowed in neighboring communities and therefore puts Downers Grove establishments at a competitive disadvantage. Those are all the comments we received leading up to this meeting, Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. We'll respond to each of those residents after we give them a little bit more thought. In general, we're taking guidance from the Illinois Department of Public Health and the DuPage County Health Department. And the gaming issue is a long-standing one here in the community that's been raised on and off over the years. I'm sure we'll consider that, but that likely will be sometime down the road. It's probably not going to be in the midst of the COVID crisis. But we appreciate everybody taking the time to weigh in, and rest assured we will be back in touch with more details. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Jose and seconded by Commissioner Earl to adjourn. Megan, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Earl?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
Commissioner Kulovany?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Walus? Aye. Mayor Barnett?
Aye, it's unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you and good night.